So this is slightly different from talking and walking, but let me tell you, it is the middle of summer here in Houston, Texas, and I'm trying to conserve my energy as much as possible. So join me today as I actually sit down and talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately, and that is the Epstein Files. Over the past few weeks, we've had so much go on in the world, not just related to the Epstein Files, but that sucked all the oxygen out of the room. Essentially, now we're at a point in time where individuals very much do want to see these Epstein Files. They want to see justice meted out against individuals who are alleged to have committed these heinous atrocities against children. Now, in the past, the Trump administration has been very clear that they do want to release the Epstein Files, and it appears that this is being bundled by Pam Bondi and even the likes of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. It's very disheartening to see, because many of us did re-elect Trump to actually see justice meted out against these individuals. And now we're coming up against one roadblock and another roadblock and another roadblock, and it starts to feel like, is justice ever going to be served? Now, what's most alarming to me is how many Democrats have actually come out of the woodworks to say, yes, we want to see the Epstein Files released, so on and so forth, when they were the ones in possession of these documents for the past several years. The question really becomes, what could they have possibly done to these files? What could they have possibly tampered with in order to possibly paint Trump in a negative light? Because the only reason they'd want these files to be released now, if you use your brain and think about this, is because they might have done something to these files that would implicate Trump, implicate Republicans, and essentially get them out of the way. Otherwise, they would have released this information a long time ago. The left has been pulling their hair out, literally, trying to find ways to get Trump since 2015. Ever since he came on the escalator and announced he was running for president, they have been throwing literally everything against the wall at this guy, and nothing has seemed to stick. So logic would tell you, if they did have some incriminating information, they would have released that information a long time ago. But what we're seeing take place on the right side of the aisle now is a little bit of a fracturing of the base, if you will. There are some individuals who have made this the hill that they are going to die on. And make no mistake, I also do want to see justice meted out against these individuals, and I want to see justice for the victims. But what I do want to caution people about is being so short-sighted that we forget the other accomplishments that Trump has actually delivered on in these first barely 7 months that he's been in office. We've recently hit the lowest number of illegal border crossings ever in recorded history. We're seeing inflation begin to cool. We're seeing the economy begin to reset, or at least go back to where it was in the past. And these are all very positive things that we elected Trump to do. But there are some people out there who are so dissatisfied with the bungling of the Epstein Files situation that they are now saying, well, this is where my support for Trump is going to end. And I understand people who feel that way, but I do want to caution them against becoming so myopic in their approach that they fail to see the bigger picture, okay? Now, of course, no one wants to see individuals who wrought these heinous atrocities evade justice, but we also have to realize maybe the justice is not for us to see or not for us to carry out. It's an upsetting idea to think about, but it's an eventuality we have to prepare ourselves for at the same time. So I know there's going to be a mixed reaction to this video, and that's okay. That's how it should be. You should never agree with me 100% of the time. I would argue that many individuals on the left who claim that we are members of a cult honestly cannot even see reality for what it is, because this is the prime example that we are not a cult, because we are willing to actually criticize our own when they make mistakes, and we're willing to admit they even can make mistakes. So many people on the left side of the aisle over the past 4 years, they knew that Joe Biden wasn't all there. They knew Kamala Harris wasn't all there, but they knew better than to criticize those individuals, because when you are a leftist and you criticize your own, that is grounds for immediate excommunication from the party. The good news is there are still individuals in our base on the right side of the aisle who will acknowledge that Trump has made a terrible misstep with these Epstein Files, or at least with the way that we've rolled them out to begin with, going all the way back to the binders that the influencers had months and months ago to now. We've had so many opportunities, it feels like, to get it right, so we get understandably frustrated when things don't go the way they should, the way we would do them ourselves. But at least we are still willing to criticize and question our own, while other individuals on the left side of the aisle, they still are not allowed to do that because they know what those consequences are going to be. So anyway, those are my thoughts as it relates to the Epstein Files. We'll see what happens as time continues to move. I'm hopeful that we will see justice, but I also have to prepare myself for the fact that maybe I won't see the kind of justice that I want to see. The good news is no one gets off the planet alive, and we all will have to face judgment from God himself in the future. And that's something that does give me peace at the end of the day. And hopefully it will give you some peace as well, even in the midst of these trying times. But that's just one saga. Think about it. Over these past 3 weeks, we had the Israel-Iran situation, we got the Epstein Files, we've got further global conflict, we've got leftists. I saw a video the other day of leftists who are now cosplaying as if they are in a El Salvadorian prison, I believe. It doesn't make any sense to me anymore, but they're still being little theater kids, being dramatic. That's what they know how to do best. And if you're not careful, it'll feel like you're getting whiplash 24/7, because today it's going to be Epstein Files, tomorrow it's going to be something else, and then we're going to have Russia, we're going to have Ukraine, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. And I do want to encourage people out there who are deeply invested in the political game to not lose yourself in pursuit of your political ends. There's a term people use that's terminally online, which means you are literally sitting there on your phone constantly just scrolling. And some people even call it doom scrolling, where you're just scrolling and the algorithms are smart enough to know when someone is spiraling. So they will keep serving you more content that's going to feed into that negative perception of the world and reality, because guess what? That keeps you on that platform, that keeps you on the app, and that keeps the app developers and the app companies making money themselves. That's what they want. So one of the best things that you can do for yourself is, when you feel like it's becoming a little too much to handle, it's okay to put your phone down. It's okay to not watch every single one of my videos. I will be all right, I promise you that, but I thank those of you who still choose to make me a regular part of your days. But the point is, it is okay to step back, to step away, and to experience the world for what it is. Yes, it's a fallen world, but there's still so much beauty in this world, still so much joy to be had. So instead of worrying about things that ultimately you cannot control yourself, then what I want to encourage you to do is actually to take some time for yourself to rediscover, to refamiliarize yourself with the normal everyday world that is so far removed from what you see online. Because if you just go outside, interact with your neighbors, whether they be leftists or Republicans, what you'll find is, at the end of the day, there's going to be good people on the left, there's going to be good people on the right. And there's a way to meet in the middle while also acknowledging things that are important to you. So those are my thoughts, and I'm curious what yours might be.